What's up?
Are we live?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even see it, man. I'm looking around. I'm like, I didn't see anything.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
what's up with that? Hey,
What are we gonna do with you?
yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't know what to do with me.
There's a little thing that says live. Look over on the left.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
hey.
All right.
Or also, whenever I say we have the countdown, stand by.
Yeah, but I usually see our thing. You know, I didn't see any of that. You know, like
you didn't see the
I
video.
didn't see that.
Okay. I hear you.
Oh my God. I didn't see the little Basile pictures and all that, and
you must have been looking the other direction, or you were too busy rocking.
Really.
Jamming to that good music, Janice.
That was it.
The baby making music. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Welcome to a Pinch of Basile show. It's Wednesday, May 11, 2022, and it's the best damn video podcast show ever. And I'm coming to you live from the studios of BZK Productions and Basile Communications. I want to bring you fantastic guests who are the movers and the shakers around the world and entertainment with authors and politicians and sports stars from all over the world. I'm Basile, your wonderful and rather bodacious, gracious, and very humble, and extremely humble, I should say, host, along with our own queen of the airwaves, Janice Hermson, and our Greek pastry-eating monster of love, my brother from another mother.
Where are you getting these names?
I gotta tell you, let me tell you something about this man. But let me finish this intro first. We are broadcasting and streaming our show live on Twitch at A Pinch of Basile, Facebook at Basile Fans, Twitter at Basile Fans, YouTube at Basile Space The Comedian. That's right. You got to do that. That's Basile spelled Basile. And of course, through Anchor to 8 different outlets, including Spotify, Apple, and just to name a couple. Let's not forget Greek Beat Radio. That's right. Greek Beat Radio takes us all over the world, from Australia, South Africa, Europe, North America, and Central South America as well. And of course, as always, I love to hear from you, the greatest listeners in the world. I do mean that. You can comment on what we do and what we're talking about, and we'll even answer our viewer and listener questions, for we love all of our fans. We love hearing their questions as well. You can even call in with a toll-free number, 844-523-2633. Like I said, we really want to hear from you, my special listeners. So go to the social outlets I just mentioned, or you can even email us at info, that's INFO, at a pinch of Basile, BASILE.com. Follow me. Join us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Basile Fans. As a matter of fact, hey, why don't you do this right now that you have the opportunity? Hey, Charles Cox is with us. Right off the get-go, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube right now and go to Basile Space The Comedian. One word is The Comedian. Basile Space. Subscribe. Just go subscribe, for God's sakes. It's that easy. That's all you got to do. This weekend, it's the Greek Festival here in Wilmington, North Carolina, that I'll be there as co-host for that, along with my good other co-host, Lee King, who will be there. And I got to be honest with you, we're very, very excited about this. And then I got to take off on a Royal Caribbean cruise that I have to lay down some track. Yeah, it's going to be doing some fun. I'm going to lay down some track for their internal commercials and stuff like that, which I'm very exciid about. And then
you're gonna be rapping?
Well, you know what? I got to lay down some track, man. You know, I'm gonna be like a voice for Royal Caribbean, so it's really kind of cool with that. So I'm really happy about that. Hey, I want to say a big thank you to New York and Chicago. The New York show was hysterical. You ever do a show and you got the mic and then there's music pounding from behind you, and you're trying to tell a joke, and all of a sudden, and you're like trying to tell a joke, and people are like going like this? That's what it was like. And all of a sudden, I'd have feedback from the microphone going in and out, and then there would be this pop. It was like pop, pop. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like Jesus. And it was one of those unique shows that I'm trying to get into it. I'm trying to do my thing, and it was just hysterically funny. Chicago was great as well. New York and Chi-Town, listen, great. Detroit, big shout out to Detroit. You know, we tried something different, trying to mix that Greek thing and the non-Greek thing together. And guess what? It really didn't work that well, to be quite honest with you. So at least I'm honest about it.
Hey, yeah, definitely.
You know, the thing is, you got to try it, though. You got to try
Exactly.
it. You know, and it's something that I'm just going to either have to cater to all Greek or cater to all non-Greek and do it that way, because it just wasn't the same thing. Hey, Diane, how are you? I hope you're well, sweetheart. Just that, you know, just that little bit different. So I'm going to be doing that. And then, hey, you want to find out more about what the hell I do? Me too. I got to be honest with you. Just go. And oh, by the way, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church with Chef Kalofagas. What a wonderful guy. Hey, you want to go to my website? Go to BasileLive.com. BasileLive.com. Look at that beautiful face. I tell you what, man, if I were in prison, I'd do me. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, to find out more, just check out my website at Basile Live. Check out all my dates. Casinos, theaters, fundraisers, corporate events, and private parties, as well as comedy clubs. Email me at Basile Live. Get a hold of me. Let's go ahead and make some magic. I want to thank the people. I'll be doing a tour in Canada. I'll be doing a tour in wonderful throughout Europe. And I'm going back to Australia. Dates will be actually announced as soon as all the theaters and everything are set up. We'll be announcing all those dates. So I want to thank you all for doing that. Our guest tonight, a good friend, Congressman Gus Bilirakis. We have not had Gus on since October of 21. Did you know that?
Right. I did not know that. I didn't.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I missed Gus. I saw him. He came to one of my shows in Florida when I was down there. It was so cool to see him. And then throwing it back to my co-hosts. Hey guys, how are you? I missed you guys. I really do miss you.
Good. How y'all doing?
Oh man, what's been going on? Did you miss? I know. I just finished. You know, the funny thing is,
I just saw you a couple hours ago.
I did an interview with WWAY, which is the ABC and CBS affiliate in wonderful Wilmington, North Carolina, promoting the show and promoting the festival. And it was so funny. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. He's got that plastic sheeting.
Beautiful. I got that baklava. I got that torstaniti. I got those pablutos and the imblitanutas. I got all of it.
Why are they all of a sudden Mexican desserts?
I just
they're Greek desserts, not Mexican. You got chalupas, and you have a little Mexi melt, and
you just have to, depending on the ending of the word, you know what I mean?
I thought he did it pretty well.
Oh, you didn't make even sense. You had to buy vowels left and right to try and understand that. Are you serious? Oh my God.
It's so good.
So
good.
But no, he actually,
my dog's sniffing right now. I'm sniffing.
But he actually made me laugh because this wonderful woman, Hannah Patrick, was doing the interview. And so she says, we got 4 minutes. And when you say go and I do an interview, I go.
He went.
Okay. And the funny thing is, I could not see her because she blanked me out. And this is all I would see. It was like, you know, I couldn't see anything. She had a question. So JR winds up going, man, she put up her pen a bunch of times to try to do me. I said, well, you know how I am about that. She couldn't get a question edgewise.
She didn't have a chance. During the commercial break, we laughed about it. I was like, I told you, once the lights are on, he goes. It's showtime. Hey, but that Greek festival was promoted so well in that 4 minutes. It was great.
That's funny.
Oh my God. It was so, I mean, I literally was drinking something and I literally spit out my drink when he said that. I'm like, oh my God, that was funny. You know, I'm like, let me see. Malama Agudas is with us. Avram, Paul Bond, brag. Shut up, Paul. Okay. Avram, Diane is with us. Charles Cox. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Miss you guys. I really do. You're like the Greek George Lopez, and I hate George Lopez.
Oh, man.
man.
So you hate me?
Damn. Yeah, that is rough. I tell you what, and happy birthday to his lovely wife. She's beautiful, and they have an anniversary coming up. And he's a good guy. And Polly, say again.
Were you talking about George Lopez's wife?
No, Paul Bond. Paul Bond.
Okay, happy anniversary.
He's been married to his lovely wife for many years, and he's a good man. She's a wonderful lady. So Eve Williamson is watching. What up, baby? She's good. Hey, Bullwinkle loves you, sweetheart. Yeah, Bullwinkle moved you. That's right. So anyway, I want to say hey to everyone. We got a great guest, Gus Bilirakis, is going to come up. We got some great questions for him too, because I'm really interested in some of the stuff that's coming down. And you know what? It's been a crazy. I don't know about the gas situation anywhere else, but I saw $4.19 for regular here. Janice, I know it's probably even more in Reno.
It was $5.22 or $5.25, something like that. Yeah, it was up there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Paul Bond's been married for 37 years. God bless you, Paul.
Wow, that's amazing.
In this industry, you're right. It is amazing, to be quite honest with you. The price of gas. Look at that. Avram says gas down Florida is $4.50. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
It's just crazy. $5, Diane.
And where's Diane?
Diane, where are you from, sweetheart? And New York's got to be crazy too. Paul, but she's in the trunk.
That's great.
Yeah, if we have any security guards from prisons who are listening to the show, please do not hook up with your prisoners. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, that was crazy, man. What kind of line?
That was crazy.
All right, what kind of line would you have if you're in prison and you want to pick up a woman who's a guard? What do you tell her?
Well, I don't know, but for myself, but he probably didn't have to say anything. He's 6'9", so it's probably just curiosity for her.
Wait a minute. So the tall man gets it. Is that what you're saying?
I wonder what's going on down yonder. So
really,
who knows? Hey, you'd be surprised.
Oh my! I don't
Curiosity kills the cat.
And at 6'9", a white man, and he still can't jam the ball. And that's something that we got to talk about.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, but I can.
I didn't say it.
Oh my God, Janice, what's going on with you, sweetheart? What have you been doing?
Oh man, you said you had an interesting day. My day was as well. It's just been very, very, very busy.
Really?
Lots going on.
I have never in my life been running from one thing to another, doing the interviews for this festival, running to do my personal stuff, running to do family stuff, going back, doing it's just a little bit crazy. That's all.
Yeah,
but
I get it.
That's a good problem to have, though, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose. I tell you what, it's a little bit much.
I feel you. I hear you. But you got that to complain about. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. And I'm always looking. I'm always thinking that it could be worse.
Oh, it always can be worse. You're right. You know what? How blessed am I, right? How blessed are you? How blessed is Janice? We got all these, oh my God, Ana Galan. It's about time you showed your face. I missed you, girl. I need some cigars. Dude, she's down. Her husband's a cop. Love him. Love them both. Met them. I do. No, it's just a little bit crazy. It really is. But I miss you, girl. I got to do a concert down in Miami. I really do, and do a show down there for y'all, a live show. I love Eve. Eve is just beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. We are blessed to do what we do. We really are. I mean, some of this stuff with all the BS that's going around the world, how lucky are we that we have what we got right now?
I feel pretty darn lucky. How about you, JR? Are you feeling pretty lucky?
They're feeling very lucky, Janice. Very.
I think y'all talking about something else to keep me out of the loop. It's all right. I'll fix this later on.
it's like
Hagar is blessed in the pants. This coming from the whitest man this side of the Pecos. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I don't even want to go there, Paul.
No, I was gonna say it's like the end of Trading Places when they when Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd get over on the brothers and everything. It's like looking good, Billy Ray. It's like feeling good, Lewis. That's what I mean. What do they have to complain about?
Great movie. Really, let me tell you, I see some of the news reports that are coming in from Ukraine, and it's just depressing as hell. And it's just, and the May Day parade was half of what it used to be, and you could tell that Putin is upset. You could just tell his mood was not in that really good mood. He's just a little different. Excuse me. And it
who was upset? Did you say?
Huh?
You could tell that who was upset? Did
Putin.
you say?
Putin, when he was speaking, he was depressed. It was like, it's just
in Russia.
Pardon
me? You saying
yes,
Putin?
as in Russia, that is what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Who gives
that
him
Putin?
Who cares if he's a fuck him?
Well, he's upset because they ain't doing all that. They're not doing.
Okay. I got
That's why he's depressed. I mean, you could tell.
Good.
I mean, this thing was supposed to be James Nicolau. How you doing, James?
Maybe they should.
It's just a little bit
fight.
Yeah.
You don't like. He didn't expect that. Good.
No. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like the big kid take you and me, and all of a sudden there's a kid that's like 4'11", and you're going to beat the crap out of him, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he turns around and never mess with anyone unless they have it coming to him, and you're going to put everything into, because one of the toughest kids I ever saw in my life was one of the smallest kids in our football team in high school. His name was Victor Semetiago. I seen him get run over, get up, and chase the guy down and actually grab him, because the guy was like cutting all over the place, and grabbed him and made the tackle. That's tough.
That's tough.
You never screw around with a small kid. I don't care what it is. And that's what happened. Putin was the big bully, and he turned around and went bam and went right to him and stuff like that. So that was, to me, that was something special, to see that. And God bless all the people who are fighting for their independence and their freedoms against that. So tell me, Janice, when our guest comes in, because I got lots of questions for Gus.
Oh, you got questions.
I got questions, and you know what? I should have shared them with you, but I know you got your questions too.
No, that's all right. We'll let you ask lots of questions. Lots and lots.
No.
And JR might even have a few questions.
No, I'm gonna just turn the screen. No, I'm just playing. No, maybe we'll see.
You never know. Come on.
You never know.
Right?
No, but you told me that you like Gus, so he's a very, very cool guy.
Very cool guy. Yeah, my questions won't be political. Trust me, I don't give a damn about politics. I don't care about politics at all. So yeah, my question will be
don't hold back, JR.
Related, you know what I mean?
Now, the good thing is, I love when somebody, listen, man, we talk, you and I and Janice have talked about everything from growing up when we were kids. Why number 13 was always the fat ass uniform on a baseball team. And you and I have been wearing 13 for years playing baseball. We could never even button the damn shirt, because it was like, we all wore Husky, which is French for fat ass.
It's definitely 100%.
Yeah.
Anything has to do with shopping, the Husky session, all that stuff. That's not cool.
I would freak when I hear, is there a Husky department here? Why don't you just say, my son is fat and he needs some big ass pants? Husky. That's people, but we don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to hurt our feelings. Well, okay. I've just had enough.
Yeah, I believe the guest is here. There, Mr. Basile.
Is Gus Bilirakis
there and everywhere?
There he is. It's Gus Bilirakis.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Gus?
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. And I'm glad that
We
Gus is
can.
really actually understands the act. We lost him. Okay.
He'll be back. Let him in. Hey, this is why I love live. I love live television. I love live streaming. I love live because you never know.
You never
That's
know.
true.
Well, let me
Very
give the
true.
bio about Gus. I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
Gus, a Republican from Palm Harbor, representing Florida's 12th congressional district, which includes all of Pasco and northern parts of Pinellas and Hillsborough counties. He was first elected to Congress November 7, 2006. Gus serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee. He is the ranking member of the Consumer Protection. Oh, that's what, because there's going to be a lot of stuff about consumer stuff and things not being on the shelves and whatnot, and a member of the Health Subcommittee and Communications Technology Subcommittee. With 38 bills he authored, signed into law, and since 2015, Congressman Gus Bilirakis was recently designated as one of the most effective Republican lawmakers in the state of Florida by the Center for Effective Lawmaking at Vanderbilt University. Working in a bipartisan manner, his main priorities include controlling government spending, creating jobs for the middle class Americans, finding ways for government to operate smaller and smarter, and lowering taxes. He's also committed to strengthening homeland security, improving education, increasing access to the quality health care, lowering the cost of prescription drugs, protecting veterans' benefits, ensuing the long-term viability of Social Security and Medicare, and improving emergency preparedness and response. This man is an unbelievable leader in our Congress. And he happens to be a really good friend of mine, whom I love. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gus Bilirakis. Gus, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Basil. I thought we were having some, I guess, technical difficulties, but I can hear you now. There is a little background noise, but I can hear you now.
That's great.
Thanks
That
for
was all
having
the
me.
applause, Gus. That was all the applause.
That was applause.
Thousands and thousands of people watching.
Gus, you got a big fan of Eve Williamson, and you can't get better than that. She's one of the sweetest ladies, a wonderful nurse.
Awesome. I look forward to talking to him.
Yeah, and thank you for your service, Eve. Trust me, sweetheart. You know, we love you. I got to be honest with you, Gus. A lot of stuff. I haven't seen you. We have not been on this show since October. You and I saw each other. I think I want to say it was January or February.
Yeah. You were at the comedy club, comedy club in Palm Harbor, Florida.
Yes, and
you did a heck of a job. You did your non-Greek show, but you put some Greek stuff in there too. It was a lot of fun.
You never saw me. You were like laughing. It was so funny because you're jumping around laughing.
It was hilarious.
It was really good.
It was hilarious. It's always good to have a little diversion and have a little fun on the side.
No two ways about
It's not a lot of fun up here. We were on the floor for about 5 hours today in the chamber voting on what they call suspensions. And most of them were non-controversial, but there were a couple controversial votes. But I'm meeting right now with a few of my friends. I stepped outside, and somebody that actually is in the Bucks organization is a very good friend of Tom Brady. Everybody knows who Tom Brady is, right?
Mm-hmm, of course.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Even Janice knows Tom Brady.
Even I know Tom Brady, yeah.
What do you think? Should he run for president one day? I don't know. We'll see.
Hey,
he's pretty popular in New York. I mean, he's pretty popular in Tampa, that's for sure.
He's still popular in Massachusetts and the New England states.
So. Michigan. He's played in Michigan, and maybe we can win California with Tom Brady. Who knows? He grew up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got basically, let me see, big state of Cali. He's got the big state of Massachusetts. He's got the big state of Florida.
Yeah.
So two of those.
That's a good base.
That's a good base. States. Yeah, no two ways about it. And
I mean, Michigan's, kind of a purple state.
It is.
Massachusetts Democrat, California Democrat. Florida has become red, but it's still a little purple. So, yeah, you could gain a lot of ground. But I asked him that when I met with him. I said, you run one more Super Bowl in Tampa, then you got to run for Congress. There's an empty, and his eyes got this big, and his staffer was going, no way, no way.
Especially probably right now, because he's with that $375 million contract.
He's not going to get close to DC. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine making that kind of money as a broadcaster? I would do it for free.
Exactly.
I would.
No, for sure.
I would do it for free.
But I think the one thing that's important, listen, and that comes out to for 10-year period, right? $375 million for 10 years. Okay, I don't know if I could do it for $37.5 million a year, to be honest with you, but that's me. If it was maybe
not enough. Not enough. Yeah.
But me, I'm greedy. I've always been greedy. That's the way I roll. And that's the way. And I would rather play the small comedy clubs in obscure cities to make that kind of money. Gus, that's just, again, that's me.
That's you.
Janice,
no one else, but that's you. Yeah,
that's me. Yeah, Janice and JR would probably do it. Not me. I just don't roll that way.
You don't want to know the things I would do.
Basil, you turned down a $1 million contract to play for the pros, for crying out loud, to do this show.
Well, listen, Gus, it's difficult to be humble. And when you all right, here we go. I know it's BS. Okay, listen.
Don't egg him on, Gus. Don't egg him on.
Keep it going.
So,
He's
Gus,
bad enough to deal with.
Gus, tell me what's going on right now. Besides, I guess you guys were busy today in Congress. A lot of stuff going on. I know that you are involved in actually making sure that there's, a lot of stuff. There's shortages out there in the country.
Yeah.
What's happening with that?
Well, the supply chain shortage. I mean, the baby formula. That's a very serious issue.
Yeah,
I think you guys know that, and there are a lot of infants that need specialty formula, and formula period. So it's a very serious issue. And that's because of the supply chain shortage. The inflation it just came out today. I think it was down like 1% or 1 point. It's still like 8.3%. The inflation rate is probably higher than that. Gas prices are through the roof. These are not good times. The border is basically open, where people come at will. And the thing that I focus on is, and this is serious, the fentanyl that's coming through this country, through the southern border, it's killing our kids. It's awful. The Biden administration, I hate to get too partisan, but they're inept. They really are. And this Mayorkas needs to be impeached. I think he lied before Congress. They asked him about, is the border secure? He said, absolutely secure. Well, I've been to the border twice. It's nowhere near being secure.
Right.
This Title 42 issue, if they get rid of Title 42, which the administration plans to do, like in a couple of weeks, you're going to have even more people coming through. 2.5 million so far on Biden's watch. It's going to be much, much more. And who's going to take care of these people? They want to take some of the healthcare providers from the VA? Are you kidding me? I mean, our veterans are waiting long enough for an appointment.
Right.
So it's a mess. Yeah. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
I just am curious. You're talking about Title 42. What's the sentiment in Congress as far as from both sides of the aisle regarding Title 42?
Yeah, well, the Republicans obviously want to keep Title 42, and that was implemented by the Trump administration. And then because I'll define it as well as I can, because of the national emergency due to COVID, they were not allowing, under Trump, allowing illegal immigrants to come to the country. Come in the country. Now, it was very difficult to regulate. But the Biden administration, even though they're keeping a lot of these mandates, what have you, they're saying that, well, the emergency is over. It's kind of hypocrisy, because on one hand they're saying that we still have to have the precautions, yet illegal immigrants can come through now, and we'll get rid of Title 42 because that's what's prohibiting them from coming through, knowingly coming through. There are many that are coming through that we don't know anything about. My real concern, my main concern, obviously, they should be coming here legally. Okay, we have over 1 million people a year that come legally. Now, is it difficult to come legally? Yeah, it's too difficult, and it's very costly, and you have to wait a long time. But there are some really good people that came into this country, like our grandparents, right, Basil? And probably your parents, and they did it, they had to wait. They had to wait in line. So it's one thing, to come here illegally and get the benefits and what have you. But what concerns me even more, and that's a big concern, but what concerns me even more is the drugs. The drug cartels coming into this country. And unfortunately, they're being enabled by the Biden administration. Again, I'm not a negative guy, but I got to give you the facts too.
Are we getting all the facts, Gus, from the media? I'm sorry, JR, do you have a question?
No, we're not getting all the facts from the media. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, and I like having all sides of the facts, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
that's always.
Well, let me just say this: the shows, in the evening, especially on these networks, it's more entertainment than anything else. So you don't really have the Walter Cronkite anymore to give you the straight as an arrow news. I will tell you, Mike Emanuel does a great job on Fox.
Oh, I think so too.
He has a show, I believe. I think he got the Chris Water. I think he got the Chris Wallace time set on Sunday nights, which is good. He deserves it. He's put a lot into it, and he's a professional. But there aren't as many, journalists that just give you the facts. It's all slanted. And these talk shows, they want ratings. So they'll make a mountain out of a molehill sometimes. But all we want is the truth.
Yeah, we have, as a matter of fact, Ana Hernandez, who's from Cuba, her family, they're from Cuba. And they came with, I guess, the Pedro Pan flights in 62, I guess, in 1962. You talk about a heavy time to come here during, that was the Cuban Missile Crisis at that time. It was a tough time. And, when our people came, and I'm talking the Greeks specifically, because you and I are both Greek, it is what it is. My father, there's no two ways about it. I joke about it. My dad jumped ship for a better life. But as soon as he did jump ship, he immediately went and got his green card. Okay. Yeah. He immediately went to go ahead and do that. And my father, I'm not saying these people are not going to be paying taxes or whatever, but he never really took anything from the government. He never went on dole or whatever. And my father learned English. My father wound up being a productive person. I'm not saying these people can't, and I'm sure many of them have.
The Hispanics on the border, the Hispanic Americans on the border are scared to death what's going on. They're concerned about their families, their safety, their livelihoods. I'm having dinner, and I do have to leave in a little bit, but I'm having dinner with a Cuban immigrant, good friend of mine, the one that I told you that has a great position with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not as a player, and he has the same story. So I really think that the Hispanic community is very upset with the Biden administration. And you're going to see a difference at the polls. I think we get the majority back, But I want people to hold us accountable, make sure we do a good job.
Can I just say, Gus, yes, we will?
Yeah. No, well, please do, because that's what the founders intended.
I know.
They
I'm just
intended
giving you a bad time.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that need to be done. Not having the presidency is tough, but we're going to play defense, and hopefully we can deal with, make some decisions, some nonpartisan issues, make some progress, such as the mental health crisis in this country. It's a big problem. The suicide rate is so very high. Every time you turn around, you hear about it, particularly with our young people. It scares the hell out of me. Now, we're passing legislation, and we're putting money into it. There's no question. Mm-hmm. But more has to be done. People have to have access to therapies.
No two ways.
Yeah, and we're trying to remove the stigma. Naomi Judd was a good friend of mine, and the great Naomi Judd, and she spoke out publicly about her depression and her mental illness, and she really made a big difference. And now, after life, because as you know, she passed away. She's still making a difference. I spoke about her today in my healthcare committee meeting. So, yeah, we have to have role models, and again, this is our future. Mm-hmm. These kids are our future, and they're having a hard time with this pandemic. They really are. Staying home, not getting out as much, and the social media is horrible. Horrible.
My daughter is an 8th grade school teacher, and JR has kids around that age, and she sees what goes on. It doesn't matter if they're inner city kids, if they're country kids.
No, it doesn't matter.
Not having that social intercourse of working and stuff like that really, and I think we're going to have an issue, and you are absolutely right. And I don't care what side of the trough you drink from. We need to take of the people that need some type of mental health, some type of it. They need that. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, many Congress, houses and all that, they put it to the side. Oh, it's all right. They'll take care of it. No, we really need to go ahead and act.
Well, tomorrow, I've passed several pieces of legislation, and some have passed the House and haven't passed the Senate. People line up in the emergency rooms, and the doctors, the healthcare providers, they're not equipped for that with regard to mental health.
Right.
And we got to make sure that they have an avenue. These people have an avenue to go to get the care that they need. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with Paris Hilton. I know it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And
you're a giver, Gus. You're a giver.
Laughing. JR's laughing. Yeah, I wasn't even turn down the appointment. But in any case, she's going to come in and tell us probably about her experiences, and she hasn't had good experiences. But there are some really good places that really try to help these kids, and a lot of them are high risk kids. They educate them, and they give them the counseling, and they train them, vocational training, whatever. They want to go to 4-year school, that's fine too. If they want to spend $300,000 and get a piece of paper that's not worth what it's written on.
Sure.
No, that's not true. We're all college graduates. But the point I'm trying to make is, sometimes it's better to go into a trade, and you can make a hell of a lot more money. But it's up to the individual. But they should have the opportunity, because that's a problem too. We don't have enough employees around the country, and you're seeing problems. I mean, accidents. I don't even want to get into it, but this one gentleman, an older gentleman, the other night, I was in Dallas, and I had dinner with him, along with about 20 other people. And this poor man, he went into the bathroom, and he slipped because the floor was all messy, and he had a cane, and now the poor guy, he broke his hip. and he broke his shoulder, and I think his arm. He's 84 years old, and it's just terrible. And that's because these people didn't have enough help in the restaurant
to clean it up.
Yeah.
So. And now a lot of people, there's a lot of help wanted signs. And I see this in Wilmington, and the people go and follow up to get a job.
Yeah.
And they don't get called. They're not getting called back. I don't know why.
You mean the people aren't calling them back?
It could be a major store or whatever. They go in for the job.
Part of the problem is the pandemic, maybe. The stimulus money, we gave out too much. The unemployment rates in some states, because they were getting federal unemployment and state unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
In California, forget about it. When you consider the state and the federal, we're talking about between $50,000 and $100,000 a year.
Wow.
So who's gonna, unless you have the work ethic, who's gonna? And these kids, some of them do, and some of them don't. But a lot of them will just stay home and play video games, and otherwise they would be going to work and making half of that amount.
Right.
But see, that's what's wrong. It's just the opposite of how we grew up, right, JR? We need role models. There's no question, and we need leaders in this country. I better go because they're going to kill me. My chief of staff, Liz, is going to absolutely kill me.
Tell Liz I love her.
I've been on so long.
I'll
tell her.
And tell her I'll take her out to dinner to make up for this.
Okay, that sounds good.
So Gus, can you come back another time and talk about?
Of course I will.
Mules?
Thank you very much for having us. If you want one more question, if you have another question, I'll take another question.
I'm just curious if you watched 2000 Mules, and if you did, you have?
No, I have not, but I will, because a lot of my.
I'm just curious to know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect on a federal level that something would happen, but I would think on a state level that there should be some action on the part of law enforcement.
Yeah, I have to watch the film. Right. There's fraud in every election.
Of course.
But in the Trump administration, I believe there was a lot of fraud. Would have made a difference in this election? Well, we're not sure. I want to watch the movie.
We should talk privately, Gus.
Yeah, we'll talk privately. Now, I know there was a lot of fraud in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia,
I work on election integrity here in Nevada, and I can tell you
we need to talk. We need to talk. Now, Florida's made some changes on the state level. We can't federalize these elections.
No,
Forget about it. Forget about it if that happens.
No. Right.
And then I think there was fraud in Arizona, and I think there was fraud in Wisconsin. Would it have made a difference? I don't know. We didn't prove it. That's the problem. It wasn't. The president didn't have. And I love Giuliani, but he's not an election attorney. He's a prosecutor. So, in any case, we got to move forward now. But I do want to watch the movie, and more than likely, because I've heard so much over the last few years, I probably could tell you whether it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it is. I've heard a lot of credible people that have told me about the movie, and they verify that most of it's true. Anyway, listen, guys, thank you very much. God bless you.
Love you.
And I will come back, okay?
You better.
Thank you.
You better, Gus. Love you guys. Say, give my love to everyone. Tell you about
I will. Thank you. Good stuff.
Bye, Gus.
See you again.
Look forward to seeing you. Yasu, brother. That was Congressman Gus Bilirakis. Happens to be a good friend of mine. And I find him to be not over too right. And I actually find him to be more of a centrist, to be quite honest with you. But you know what? He's got his opinion. We got ours. And we not always necessarily agree with everything, even between ourselves. But you know what? He's always been pretty, true to his word. When he would say something, he sits on the House, in the House. He's been there for. God,
I'm glad he doesn't sit on the House.
Well, yeah, shut up. Yeah, what I'm saying. Yeah. But the thing is, what I like about them, because there are Democrats who I agree with, and there are Republicans who I agree with. Sometimes if it's too far left or too far right, I don't want to hear them. But it doesn't matter to me. I like listening to people who are more centrist, and certain things, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Um, Eve was Eve Williamson. I got you. She's a little bit conservative. Evie, I love you. Diane, but Anna Galan. I mean, there's people. I mean, you're talking people who came here. Can you imagine coming here in 1962 when the Russians were already in Cuba, and it was the height of the missile crisis, and you're trying to get away, and Castro has just taken over? Can you imagine? We talked about how having a bad day. Those people had a horrific couple of weeks. The Bay of Pigs incident, the whole shebang. And I would love to get Anna Galan on here one day and talk about that, because I'm sure she would have some great stories about that. Very, very interesting, truly. I mean, and I like when Gus. I like when we get him off track and we start talking about sports, because if you saw the height difference between him and Tom Brady, it's Tom Brady as Santa Claus, and him is one of the little elves running around. It's hysterical. It's so true. The first time I ever met him, I was hosting the AHEPA National Supreme Convention, and I was hosting it. So it was a black tie event, and as I'm hosting, and also I did not know how tall Gus was, because by the time I got to I guess what do you call the thing where everyone sits at the oh God, I'm having a brain fart. So everyone's sitting at the head table, and all of a sudden I introduce myself and doing everything. Everyone comes up, and also I introduce Congressman Gus Bilirakis, and this was a gooseneck type of microphone. So every time you move it, all of a sudden I introduce Gus, I shake hands, and this is all I hear. Because it was so short, he had to come down. And I'm like, and he said like maybe a minute's worth, on as he was sitting on this thing, and he sat and he talked about a minute, and then he got back, and then the first thing when I got back to the mic, I just looked at him and I started laughing and go, isn't there a height requirement in Congress that you have to be so tall to represent something like a Disney ride? If you want to get on this ride, you got to be at least this tall. He looked at me, and ever since we became friends, because he gave me hell after that. And it was just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun on that. Oh, my gosh. It was good having him. We're going to get him back. We'll get him back.
It was very nice to see
the movie 2000 Mules, just to see. Yeah.
Well, the thing that bothers me, I think, the most is about the movie is that when the media looked at it, they didn't view it and really do well. I guess nothing new, right? They weren't journalists, and the first thing they said is faulty analysis. Well, did they ask questions? Did they go and talk to these folks? No, they didn't. They watched the movie and then they said faulty analysis. And I disagree with it, which JR would figure I would, but
you know how Janice rolls, man. You know how Janice rolls.
Which is perfectly fine. But I really feel like if any law enforcement that was honest about things looked at that movie, they would say in certain areas that they would have to investigate it. I'm not saying they're right or they're wrong, but if you're in that position, you should view it, and you should ask questions, beyond what you and I could do, right? Because it just makes sense. If you're seeing cell phone data that's doing certain things, I mean, I don't want to go into the whole movie. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it and and make your own conclusion. But I'm biased because I've been dealing in election integrity. So I'm looking at records. I'm looking at things that tell me things that you're not going to see. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm saying, okay, this is another facet of it. If people are getting paid $10 a vote, I'm mad. I don't want to, have people being paid for votes. That's all. Yeah. And if it's not true, I want to know that too.
Yeah.
And at this point, I have to make a decision. Who do I believe? You know,
Yeah,
when I see. Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. Since you're on that committee, what is your opinion on? I know my opinion, and I'm going to ask JR too. What's your opinion that if you're going to vote, that you need to identify yourself as to who you are, having either a license or some type of identification card, and where you're checked off at your precinct or wherever you're supposed to vote? How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll be honest. I thought we used to always do it when I lived in California, which is a funny thing to say, right, in today's world. But even my daughter said when we came to Nevada, and after a period of time, she said, and my daughter is Democrat, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I thought we had to show ID. How come we're not showing ID?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, they just don't require it, right? So my feeling is I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to prove who we are when we go to vote. And I think that it's insulting to anyone else if they say that oh, it hurts the minorities or whomever, they can't get an ID. My goodness, are you kidding me? They know how to get IDs. I feel like that's insulting. And I don't know how you feel about that, JR, but I've heard interviews with people in different areas that were what would be considered marginalized areas, where they're looking at these interviewers saying, what are you talking about? We know how to get an ID. I mean, that's crazy. It's a crazy reason. I think that's what I'm saying. And you can disagree with me, JR, and I won't care, but that's my feeling on it, is like, I just think it's insulting.
I don't know. I don't.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, listen, when it comes to that, I've always, like, when I lived in New York, I wasn't voting any type of elections and stuff like that. When I lived in Ohio and I became, legal to vote, like my first president, I had to show identification. And this is, JR, did you always have like a picture on your ID okay, because you're a bit younger than I am. So yeah, I was Brian Basile for a couple of years, because Brian, and my last name, it was Katsikas, but my first name is Basil. So Basile wasn't too far. And we fit the same description: brown hair, dark brown eyes, whatever the case was. And it was a description. It wasn't a picture on the license. I'm like, they're taking pictures on licenses now? I was like, wow. And I took it when I was in Ohio, and it was just kind of crazy. It really was. To me, it was always a little bit different for that. But I'll tell you what, I'm always kind of curious about that. Do we show? Have we gotten past that we don't need to? I asked my cousin Anna, who's a big time lefty, and she tells me, she goes, nah, we need to have it. I said, really? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. You know what they do in Iraq when they vote? As soon as they vote, they got to put their thumb in ink, and their thumbs are blue or something like that. I don't know if you ever saw them vote. It's pretty interesting. You vote, not a problem. Okay, put your thumb in the ink, and that's it. And I'm like, wow, how was that? So I was like, to me, that was always kind of crazy, interesting. So, yeah. Did you ever see the movie The Gangs of New York?
I
did not see that. That's Daniel Day-Lewis, Leonardo.
Whom I love. I adore him as an actor.
I never did see that movie, no.
He has done everything that he's done has been fantastic. So anyway, this is during Tweed's administration back in the 1860s, and they needed everyone to vote. And all of a sudden, these guys, they were paid to make sure that everyone went to vote. He goes, but I already voted. Do your duty as an American. Go vote again. They were sending him through, and it was hysterical. And I was laughing about that. It was a great, if you ever get an opportunity, to me, I just think it was great to see how it was back then in the 1860s, and to see what it was like. As soon as the Irish would get off a ship, they said, welcome to America, sign this, join the army, get $50 right up front. And they would go from their clothes that they wore crossing, the pond, or, the Atlantic Ocean, getting here, taking off their clothes, and they put on their military uniform. And it was really, really amazing to see that. So it was just funny, to me, seeing that. But yeah, do your civic duty and go vote again. Vote a third time, for God's sakes. Keep voting. So to me that was always funny. Watch that movie, JR. I think you'll get a big kick.
I've always heard it was good.
No, definitely. It's fantastic. It's truly fantastic. Oh my God. Anyway, what else is going on? Anything else we're pushing? Anything, Janice?
Anything at all? Anything?
Janice?
I don't think so. I didn't even look up what the day was today. National whatever day. I always that.
Is there anything national? Oh, you know what I had? Have you
National
ever been to a place called
Day of the Week?
Have
right?
you ever been to a place called Brewster's for ice cream? JR, I know you have had to go.
I do not know what that is.
Brewster's ice cream is the bomb, and I had a chocolate chip.
Brewster's my daughter's last name.
She's a very wealthy woman.
Doesn't she?
I know I dump a lot of money.
Brewster's Millions.
Brewster's Millions.
Well, you guys
would like Pryor's last movies.
It might have been Harlem Nights. Well, Harlem Nights was after that for sure. Harlem Nights was in the.
That was a great movie, by the way.
Harlem Nights.
Hey, today your guys' day.
What is it?
Today is National Eat What You Want Day.
Really?
It is.
I'm looking at JR. Yeah, there is a pastry box right there.
I love it. National Eat What You Want Day.
Oh my God.
Boxes. I have
So
three.
was the baklava all that in the bag of chips?
So good. Question: What is? Sorry.
What is what?
Sorry. What is this? It looks like the cereal shredded wheat.
Oh yeah.
If
you love baklava, take a bite of that right now on air.
I'm gonna mute my mic so you don't hear me.
No, go ahead. Just take a bite of it. Go ahead.
He's got to mute his mic. He doesn't want to hear you.
You're gonna go crazy about this.
Oh, there it goes. Oh. It's messy. It's very messy, but he's doing a good job on it.
Huh? Now
he's loving it.
You get me some of that. Okay. I'm telling you, man.
Ooh, he said, wow.
Isn't that
Even
delicious?
with the mic off, we know.
That is delicious. Okay. That is baklava stuffing with shredded wheat.
Very good. It's just like baklava, but like shredded wheat. Yeah.
Oh my God. You give me that with a glass of milk.
What'd you say it's called?
Just keep going. Just keep
What'd you say it's called is what he asked.
Yeah, I know what he said. Delicious.
He's loving it. He's loving it. So good. You're honoring Eat What You Want Day.
And he's doing a hell of a job. He truly is.
Delicious. That is absolutely delicious.
And, I got to tell you, all Greek pastries, maybe a finiki, maybe a baklava,
you have to be able to say it that way with your hand.
Carizopita, finiki.
The baklava. How do you not? You're definitely just talking the whole time you're making love, right?
Yeah.
The whole time.
My finiki. My little piece of baklava.
Oh, you guys.
I want you to rub your carizopita all over my face.
I know where you are. I'm coming to spoon with you right now.
But you give me that with milk. I'm telling you, man. See, the thing is, you're like me. You still like drinking milk with your pastry and stuff like that, don't you?
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
chocolate milk, regular white milk, it doesn't matter. And by the way, you know what we didn't talk about? We did not talk about Elon Musk talking about chocolate milk. Elon Musk. What do you think about that, Janice? Elon Musk buying Twitter.
I think it's fine. I mean, I don't care. I'm not huge on Twitter anyway, so that's good.
I love his stuff. What do you think, JR?
Yeah, like I said, I might have 9 or 10 tweets my whole life. I have no idea. Like I don't get on Twitter at all. It's just I don't care. I don't understand why people care about what people are thinking at every single moment of the day. And why would you even trust it anyway? Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I suppose.
I think the only thing that I would say about that, JR, is I use it for business. That's about it. I use it to promote the show. I mean, beyond that,
of it for
yeah.
sure. But
And I browse
stuff,
every now and then. Every now and then I look at some of the little things that come out. But to me, you know that somebody's either trying to incite you, entertain you, humor you. You know, I mean, they're trying to get at you in some way. So either you choose to respond to that, or you just look at it like I do and just scroll through.
Oh yeah, you definitely can't care about what anybody says on a keyboard. They don't know you.
Come on.
Yeah.
He just bought for how many billions did he buy it for?
43 billion.
43 bill, right? Mm-hmm. And this is, I love his tweets. I read his tweets. He goes, I love chocolate milk. Come on, for $1 billionaire.
Was it a real tweet from him that I saw that he wants to put the cocaine back in Coca-Cola? Was it really? Did he really tweet that, or was somebody just messing around?
Oh my god! I heard that one.
I saw that. Right? You didn't see that?
If that's the truth, then I'm going to Colombia and I'm going to open up a cocaine factory over there.
I swear I saw that. I didn't. Again, I don't know if it was verified, like it was from him or not, but.
By the way, Matt, I got to say that piece of pastry that you were eating is called kataifi.
Oh yeah,
kataifi. Here, you got to say it this way because you're going to be kataifi.
So it's not a ka, it's a ga.
No.
I know it's a K that started, but so when you pronounce it, though, it's more of a.
Say it with me. Say it like sexy.
Kataifi.
This is how we're going to take it.
That was it.
Out. Oof. This is how we're gonna take the show out.
How about my little curambiera? Oh,
I'm sorry, what?
Curambiera. My finicky.
Hey boys, it's time to stop this noise.
Come here and taste.
I'm gonna start rapping.
Yes, please do.
Candace, go ahead. Please. I got my kataifi coming down the pipe.
There it is, ready for you.
If you guys can do that, I can rap. And trust me, I cannot.
No, Janice, you can rap. No. Christmas gifts, wedding gifts, you can do all that.
No.
Oh man.
Not a pretty picture.
Don't breathe in. She said don't breathe in when you eat the powdered sugar one.
You know someone
I'm sorry. Made me laugh.
That was a good one. That got
How do you think they bring in cocaine from Colombia all this time?
Oh my
you never
goodness.
know there were so many Greeks in Colombia coming over.
No, they love this very much. It's good.
Oh, shit.
Meanwhile, the dog goes up to it and passes out. There's so much cocaine on it. Oh my God. Well, listen, folks, this has been a fun show. I want to thank our guest, Congressman Gus Bilirakis, for being with us. It's, hey, listen, for those of you who are in the greater Wilmington area, North Carolina, maybe Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, as far north as Virginia Beach, come on down. One of the best Greek festivals you'll ever see. It's St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church in Wilmington, North Carolina, right across the street from UNCW. It's our 30th anniversary. I want y'all to come. The food is fantastic. I'm very proud of it. And for all of our listeners and all of our people that came on, Eve Williamson, Anna Hernandez, let me see.
Bunches of people.
Billy Stone, I love you, man. It was good talking to you early today. Janice Hermson, it was good to have her on the phone.
Good to be here.
Paul Bond was with us. Let me see. Diane, everyone who was listening part of the show, thank you all so much. And this is Basil, and I want to thank on behalf of myself, Janice Hermson, of course, JR Equipment. We love you. Thank you for being part of this great show, and how blessed are we to be where we're at today. Y'all have a beautiful night. God bless. Have a good one.